Super fine! Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Let's talk about this. What's your favorite Harry Potter film? Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin.
I'm Laura.
And this is our retro review for Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. So I had a very strange experience with Order of the Phoenix. When we were dating, because she loves Harry Potter, and prerequisite to dating her was to read all 7 of these books. So I read all 7 Harry Potter books, and they were all good, except for the 5th one. It's not that the 5th one is bad, it's just that it's close
the longest book.
to 900 flippin' pages of Harry Potter whining.
Like the 15-year-old that he is.
Oh my gosh! I mean, it was a miracle that I finished that book, and I haven't read it in 10 years. Maybe my perspective would be different.
You'll probably never read it again.
But I don't ever want to pick that book up and read it again. That's just where I'm at.
A lot.
Now, that said, having watched the movie, it is the 100% exact opposite for me, and is probably, thus far of all the Harry Potter movies we binge back to back to back, it's probably my favorite one. Because whereas I read the book, and there's Harry whining and crying like a little child, and this one, he mans up.
Well, no, he's a little whiny, but the thing is, it's the right amount.
Yes.
It's not over the top. It's not, but it's enough that you know it's there. It's a problem, and he's got to overcome that, and he's got to use this, and he does. It works.
So your overall thoughts and impressions of the movie when we watched it?
I enjoy this movie a lot. It cuts out a lot.
It does.
A lot from
But,
the book.
900 pages, they gotta cut a lot.
And they made Umbridge pretty bad in this. She is way worse in the books, though.
Ooh. See me later, Mr. Potter. My office.
There's a couple of little story differences, like always, that I wish they would have fixed. Like, Cho isn't the one who gave up
Dumbledore's army.
It was her friend, and they never even brought her friend into it. So making it Cho worked just fine. But what was cool is, how he brought this point up. He's like, why are they all signing up to be a part of this group?
Yes.
And the reason in the book is Hermione charms that paper that if anybody tells anybody outside of the paper about the group, then they get pimples and it says sneak across their forehead. And I really wish that they did that to Cho.
For me, this movie was super intense just from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Dudley, what a jerk.
Where is your mum? Where is your mum, Potter?
Is your mum dead, Potter?
She dead? Is she dead?
She's
that
dead, isn't she,
opening
Potter?
sequence was perfect.
And he's looking at him like, and as the camera does the close-up of Dudley and he's making fun of Harry, it's like, you could tell there's no lights on.
Yeah.
Like, Dudley is just an idiot, was born an idiot, he's an idiot. And you can really see that in his facial expression. Your mum's dead, right? I mean, on the one hand, you want to walk up to him and punch him in the face for saying such a jerky thing. So the movie got your blood boiling right in the beginning. But then at the same time, you're looking at him and you're like, but do I want to punch him? I mean, he's so stupid, I would just feel guilty.
Well, I just think it was so funny because when Harry comes up and puts the wand underneath Dudley's neck, and all the friends just start laughing hysterically. That opening sequence is perfect.
Yes,
that
but Dudley is serious and scared
because he knows what Harry can do.
Only Harry and Dudley know the true power of putting that wand under his chin, and everybody else is just laughing it off. Yeah. But then when the Dementors show up, and, first off, it feels like justice because, they're like sucking the soul out of Dudley, but then all of a sudden it doesn't feel like justice anymore. It's like, but
eye for an eye is not always right. It's actually not really ever right.
But then the lady that came right there at the beginning, you explained to me who that lady was,
Mrs.
the
Fig.
neighbor. Yeah. But, this is the first time we meet her in the movies, but the way we see her, it's like she's been here all along.
Yeah, and, they mention her name very briefly in the first movie, and that's it for movies. In the book, she's one of the neighbors. That is one who always watched Harry.
But I don't know. I guess it would have been nicer because, she goes to Harry's trial and all that stuff, and it's like... Man, the movie's missed an opportunity to put her in at least the first or second movie and give her a slightly bigger role. So I've kind of talked negatively about this current Dumbledore, and now I'm going to talk super positive because once we hit this movie, this is the Dumbledore that I love.
You got our message that the time and place of the hearing had been changed, did you?
I must have missed it.
but by a happy mistake, I arrived at the ministry 3 hours early.
He kept his cool. He was calm. He was collected. He projected confidence. And yet you can see it's not like he has all the answers, but he's confident. And when he's in a scene, you're just confident things are going to turn out for the better. And so I really liked the actor's performance of Dumbledore in this movie.
And see, in this movie, he was supposed to be more cold, not cold towards Harry, but just like ignoring him because he didn't want, because, you know, he was realizing that Voldemort and Harry had a connection.
Yeah.
And that Harry could see into him, and if Voldemort really realized there was a connection there, could see into Harry, which, as the movie progresses, you realize he figures it out.
Yeah.
And that's how he tricks him into the Ministry of Magic. But it's just the way he was doing it, it was like he just, you know, ignored him. And it was perfect, like the way he acted, the way he walked off. And you could tell at the one scene when Professor Trelawney's getting dismissed and Harry goes running after him to try to get his attention. You can tell he hears him and he's conflicted. Like there was just a look he made and I'm like, that was well done. I'm like, yeah. He turned it up on this one. He got much better.
I like this Dumbledore a lot.
There probably was enough complaints about the fourth one. That's why
maybe. Because that, like, I just felt like what they tried to do, maybe show more vulnerability or whatever, rather than it showing more vulnerability of Dumbledore, it felt more out of character of Dumbledore. And in this one, it was a 180 difference. I mean, there was like nothing the same. He was confident. He was collected. He was cool. And so I liked this version of Dumbledore and the way he portrayed it in this one.
Well, and you loved how he left.
You seem to be laboring under the delusion that I'm going to... What was the phrase? Come quietly.
Boom! Fire and explosion, and the other guy's like, "Oh, that Dumbledore, you gotta admit, he's got style."
Well, and that guy's on Dumbledore's side already.
Yeah, I know,
yeah,
but
that's Kingsley Shacklebolt.
Kingsley Shacklebolt. We have a friend named Kingsley, so I should remember that guy's name.
Yeah.
But anyway, I love that scene because, again, it was Dumbledore, and he was just so dry and calm, and he's just, "I'm not gonna go with you quietly. You think I'm just gonna go to Azkaban?"
Like, sorry.
And then all of a sudden, this huge display of that's Dumbledore to me, and so it was cool to see that. And I really enjoyed that.
Yes, and Dolores Umbridge, loved to hate her. She was just the right amount of... I mean, she was way worse in the books, but I was very content with her.
It almost makes me not want to pick up the book, not just because it was 900 pages, but because if she's worse in the book and she was that bad in the movie, I mean, oh, man, I just feel like they did a great job trimming the fat and doing what needed to be there for a movie and then portraying these characters correctly, and Umbridge was... I could not wait for the end for the centaurs to grab her.
Yeah.
I am senior undersecretary Dolores Jane Umbridge.
Don't you just wish, though, that they roasted her over a fire and ate
They're
her?
not cannibals.
Well, they're not human, so it wouldn't be cannibal for them to
That's true.
eat human.
That's true.
Anyway, I don't know. It's just like, you just wished in that scene she would die. So in the book, Harry Potter just came off to me so whiny. In the movie, he had a few whiny moments, but what I thought was really clever was when he's boarding the train and he has the hallucination or vision of Voldemort standing right there, and Voldemort does a thing with his neck, and they do that just so you see that. And then from that point on, Harry is feeling scared and alienated from everybody because nobody's like listening to him.
Look at me!
And you see him
Do the twitch.
and they did a really good job showing you the connection between Harry and Voldemort and make you afraid that what if Voldemort catches on to this and sees what they're doing?
Yeah.
But even before you have that fear of Voldemort, you're looking at Harry like, is he going to become Voldemort? I mean, you're just watching him pick up those tiny character traits and quirks and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it made it more powerful at the end when Voldemort possesses Harry and Harry is on the ground slithering like a snake and Dumbledore's sitting there, he's like, Harry, it's not how you two are alike. It's how you two are different. It makes that scene so powerful.
And then, of course, right then, Hermione and Ron and the rest of the group show up.
Yes. But I want to talk about that scene a little bit later, because that scene is incredible. Right now, we should talk about your favorite character.
Sirius Black, man. He's in very little, and he steals it.
Yeah, it's funny, though, when you think about it. He is in very little of this franchise, and in very little of this movie.
But he makes such an impression. But he's also probably my favorite character in the books.
Yeah.
So I might have a special pull to the movies just because I'm thinking of all the book stuff, too. I used to have a shirt that said Sirius Lives.
Bellatrix Lestrange. Am I pronouncing her name right?
Yeah, close enough.
Whatever. She is just awesome. Oh my gosh. I mean, if you want to talk about Umbridge, how you love to hate her, then you bring in Bellatrix Lestrange into this, and it's like, ha! I mean, the fact that she kills...
she, like, pulls off the crazy so well. Because some people can't do it.
From the moment that she is broken out of Azkaban,
crazy.
and she's just laughing up at the sky, all the way to she kills Sirius, which is a big enough offense anyway, and then Harry's chasing her down the corridor, she's like, I killed Sirius Black! Get her, Harry! Yeah. I don't even care that you just used one of the unforgivable curses on her. Just keep going! And
it's funny, because they use the unforgivable curse, and she acts scared, but she's not scared at all.
No.
Because he doesn't understand what it means to do that curse.
No, and he didn't have his heart in it, which was another interesting distinction when Voldemort comes in to tempt him, and he's like, Harry, you have to mean it when you say it.
The fight between Voldemort and Dumbledore was awesome.
So when you watch...
You don't get a lot of displays of real wizard dueling magic.
When you watch Goblet of Fire, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But when you watch Dumbledore, an expert, greatest wizard that has ever lived, with Voldemort, arguably the next greatest wizard that has ever lived, in battle with each other.
It ended very well. It ended... And it just... I sat there and I'm like, Harry has no idea what a real wizard battle looks like.
And there he is, watching these two fight.
Worth it for the fight.
The vindication at the end, because they spent so much of this movie with Umbridge saying, I will not tell a lie, and telling Harry, don't you just feel deep down inside you're worthy of punishment?
Yeah.
That you should be punished for telling such lies? And so finally here at the end, the Minister of Magic, who's been such a pompous, arrogant jerk.
Thank goodness he sees him.
And he sees Voldemort. It's like, vindication!
Oh, I know. Well, and it's interesting because, there's many people that think, Dumbledore was just keeping him fighting as long as he could in hopes that they would show up.
Yep.
Because, obviously, if somebody's breaking into the Department of Mysteries in the Ministry of Magic, you would think they would have, alarms go off and it would send it to people. And,
yeah.
And I'm like, and you would think owls would be sent to whoever and people would start showing up. So I'm glad that it happened that way.
That they actually
and we
did
didn't
show
have
up.
to go through another movie with them not believing.
Yes.
That would have been super annoying.
Yes, that would have been. So, I thought this movie was done right. Where I read the book and I was like, I can't stand reading this. This is 900 pages of Harry crying like a baby.
Yeah.
To watching the movie and being concerned for Harry as he's picking up Voldemort's traits and what's going to happen. Him training with Snape was really cool to learn how to keep Voldemort out of his mind.
Yeah, that I felt like they did not do justice.
Oh,
but that's
it's been
just
so
me.
long. I haven't read
because it was
so
long and grueling, but Harry didn't get it. It's like Harry just couldn't figure out how to do it. He didn't have the mental capacity to calm himself and clear his mind, which is funny because
he's a 15-year-old teenager.
Yeah, but he's a boy. Boys can think of nothing, right? Like women think of every million things, and guys, you ask them what they're thinking, and they say nothing. Guess what? They're thinking about nothing.
It's true. We can think about nothing unless we're teenagers, in which case then the whole world hates us, and we hate the whole world.
That's true. So thinking about nothing is probably more difficult in clearing your mind.
And then in the movie, Harry has Dumbledore ignoring him, except to put him in Snape's care. He has the fear that Voldemort's going to take over him any second.
And half the school doesn't believe him, thinks he's a liar. And
yeah, I think it's justifiable that he's having a hard time.
Okay.
But anyway, but you make a good point because there was more about that in the books.
There was a lot more about that. Lots and lots of sessions. And then one of the things is Dumbledore at the end says, I probably should have taught you myself. He's like, I just didn't want Voldemort knowing that we were connected because I didn't want him to use you to get to me.
So all of that to me was just incredibly interesting.
Yes.
And thus far, in all the Harry Potter movies we've watched back to back to back, this one is my favorite.
They keep getting better and better for you.
They really do. So I'm looking forward to getting through these more close quarters and then reviewing them. So, and then after Fantastic Beasts 2, we're going to go through and rank all the Wizarding World movies worst to best.
It's going to be hard.
It's going to be very hard.
I've got a lot of ones that are neck and neck.
That I think I might too. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to do that. Which is your favorite Harry Potter movie? Let's talk about that in the comments. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian and hit the bell by the subscribe button so you're notified for our next movie review, retro review, theological analysis, ranking video, or anything else. I'm Durbin.
I'm Laura.
Thanks for checking out Durbania.